going back to 2019, I just had my 40th birthday, or maybe 41st. I have to think back. Isn't that bad? But I was 40 or 41. And because it was my birthday, I asked my family, hey, it's my turn to pick out what we're going to watch on TV tonight. So, of course, at that time, I had this goal in mind for years and years to do a half Ironman triathlon. I had dabbled around in sprint triathlon distance and 5Ks, but always thought that I really wanted to do a half Ironman. So anyway, I made my family sit down with me and watch an Ironman race. I think it was like the Kona World Championships, and I was so excited. I was so motivated, and I told my family, I said, one day that's going to be me out there doing an Ironman race. And my oldest, who was 12 at the time, he turned to me and said, Mom, what are you waiting for? You're 40 now. And I was like, yeah, I think you're exactly right. What am I waiting for? If I'm going to do this, I better get after it. So, needless to say, that week I picked out a race, I signed up for it. So I took that first step towards it, and then I was scared to death. I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? How could I swim 1.2 miles, bike 56 miles, and run a half marathon, which is 13.1 miles at the end? Like, who was I to think that I could do this? Okay. Because I've never ever swam or biked or ran that long in my life before. So of course I was scared. I was way out of my comfort zone. I didn't even have anything around me as far as resources or tools or friends that could help me get to my final goal that I had already signed up for. So once I committed, then I made it my job to surround myself in that environment. I bought some books, I found some good training plans, figured out nutrition piece, and started to focus on that final goal of finishing a half Ironman. I wanted to finish it before the final time where they would say stop the race. I wanted to finish it within that time. I wanted to be injury free, and I just wanted to go and do it. So the more I pictured it, the more I visioned that goal of mine and the person I would be to get there, the more I started to believe in myself, the more I started to believe that I could do that. And the more I just consistently went through the training and knew every day what my goal was that I was working on. So, and I did it. I did the half Ironman, and I finished it before they kicked me off the course, and it was an amazing experience. I want to do more. So in that instance, I was able to just start working towards this goal that I wanted to do for myself, even though it scared me, even though I didn't even really understand how I was going to get there to finish it. I made it work because that's what I wanted. Okay, that's what my goal was, and I did everything I could to get there. So the more you ladies vision your weight loss, vision the woman you are striving to be, why you're wanting to lose the weight, what your body will feel, what your mind will feel like when you're working on yourself to get to that weight, and the life that you're creating and wanting in that woman at that certain weight. Not that I don't want you to not like yourself now. Of course, I want you to have a lot of self-love and self-confidence about yourself now, but we all have things we can be working on to improve ourselves, and our health is always should be top priority in my mind. So having that goal and constantly picturing that woman that's your goal, seeing it, put notes up about it, put your affirmations up about it, let your family know, or tell somebody what you're wanting to do. That will keep you accountable too, the more you start talking about it. So, and the exciting things about mindsets, even if you feel like you have more of a negative mindset about weight, especially if your thoughts go to, I've tried a million diets. I can lose it. I always put it back on. How is this any different? Why should I try again? I'm in menopause. I can't lose the weight. Like whatever negative thoughts are starting to run through your mind, you actually can change your mindset, okay? They're absolutely changeable. And there's a field called cognitive therapy. And it actually is based on the idea that thoughts determine our feelings and that we can learn techniques to modify our thoughts that are then causing these beliefs, these negative beliefs or defeating beliefs that we have about ourselves. Okay, that's that failure, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to try another diet because what if I fail? Well, what if you fail? Okay, what if you don't? What if you succeed this time around? That's that mindset shift of saying, I can do this. This is why I can do it. The more times not only you start, but then stay consistent with it, you'll start to prove to yourself that you can. Okay, so with negative mindsets, unfortunately, they feed into a lot of self-doubt, negative thoughts, and it's so powerful when we can get into our thoughts and start paying attention to how they cause our feelings. So feelings are a huge part of weight loss. Who finds themselves having a stressful day, or their kids, are fighting and they make you kind of angry because they're bickering, and then the next thing you know, you're in the cupboard with a cookie. So that's definitely some emotional eating. And if we can stop for a minute and figure out like what our feelings are in that situation that's making those results around food, whether it's good or bad or things that we need to work on, but paying attention to our thoughts, how they're making us feel, is such an important part of being comfortable around food. Okay, so just start to think, like, instead of should haves, make it I get to, instead of I have to, make it I get to. So instead of I have to do 10 loads of laundry today, you can say I get to do 10 loads of laundry today. I have a wonderful family that we're lucky to have electricity in our home to do their laundry, and now I get to do their laundry. Okay, so but anything that you're thinking about day to day, I just want you to start to pay attention to your thoughts and start to shift those thoughts. Instead of I have to go to the grocery store, I get to go to the grocery store to buy food to fuel my body with healthy nutrition. So another good one is if we're thinking I'm a failure, I had a bad weekend, I ate all the pizza and chips and salsa and drank that margarita, now I'm just bad. And then the next day I got up and had 5 donuts. Like, all we can think of is I'm a failure as far as our weight loss goals. But the better way to think of that is I didn't perform well, but I can better prepare next time, and it will probably go much better. So the important thing there is just to understand, learn from the mistakes that you're making or the results that you're not getting with your weight loss. If you had a night or a weekend that your choices weren't what you were planning on, and you gave in to that fast food, or the family gathering had lots of goodies and you decided to eat them, and then you're beating yourself up the next day about that. Think about, how can I learn from that situation and go forward? That way I can try to get the results I want next time I'm at a family picnic. Okay. I want you to think about what are a few of the most uncomfortable feelings that you don't like to feel. And I want you to think about that. Is it sad? Is it overwhelmed? Is it anxious? Is it mad or angry? Like, what feeling is it that you hate dealing with? You don't want to be feeling that certain emotion, okay? Because that's important to pay attention to that feeling, because oftentimes that triggers some decisions around food that might not get you to your weight loss goals. So think about those feelings to take going to get a pedicure, going to get a manicure. Those are nice self-care things, but even just every day, like, are we journaling? Are we sitting with our thoughts and feelings? Are we enjoying a nice peaceful morning? Are we getting our exercise in? Are we getting our water in? Are we getting our sleep? Like, to me, that's more self-care, like consistent daily self-care. Yeah, it's nice to get the massage or the pedicures or the facials, but more importantly is that daily self-care. What are we doing for ourselves daily that our body and mind enjoys? And then the last important piece to mindset is setting goals, okay? I talked about the half Ironman goal. You guys set your own goals. It doesn't have to be around exercise. It could just be a simple goal of weight loss. What is your weight loss goal? Okay. And there's a tool, if you haven't heard of it already, there's something called a SMART tool. And it's an acronym. So the SMART, specific, measurable, actionable, relatable, and timely. So that's the acronym. Sorry about that. So you want to have, in order to set a goal of weight loss, say, you have to be able to go through each one of those letters and being able to measure it. How are you going to get there? How are you going to map it out? And these are the steps to get there. So not only having a goal, but also writing down the steps to get there will help you start to get more focused on those goals. So mindset is everything, ladies. Pay attention to those thoughts. Think how you can change the thoughts and your feelings and what you do when you're stressed or bored or lonely or overwhelmed. It's important to feel the feelings, but we also want to know what that does to our results around weight loss. So